This is Ohio Harness Update, a look at harness racing across the Buckeye State. Ohio Harness Update is brought to you by Matt Franklin, Wealth Advisor at Wire to Wire Wealth.
Welcome to another edition of Ohio Harness Update. I'm Frank Froz. The purses have been big and the track has been fast at Miami Valley Gaming as there have been track record performances. Art Attack A tied the Miami Valley Raceway record for the fastest mile ever by a pacer on March 14th. Art Attack A and Dan Noble went gate to wire to win the $34,000 open handicap pace in 1:48.4. It tied the mark set last year by Let It Ride N.
As they come to the top of the stretch, Art Attack trying to go all the way. Later dudes trying to sneak through at the rail, making some noises, still digging. They drive for the wire. It's Art Attack, and he's up to task today. Art Attack to win it from Later Dudes, making some noise, and I believe springing his step, 1:48.4, and that will equal the track record.
The performance is a national season's best, topping the 1:49 mark set by Carbine at Miami Valley in February. Art Attack A is trained by Christy Noble and owned by James Morris and Norma Ray Racing. Spitfire Overseas set a new trotting track record at Miami Valley on March 4th. The Stacy Van Heusen trainee set the mark for 4-year-old male trotters, winning in 1:51.1, which is a season's best for trotters.
1:23 flat for 3/4, 26.3 backside. And it's Spitfire Overseas, and he is long gone. He can take up and walk home from here. Easy win at 3-5 for Spitfire Overseas. He has clearly found his A game lately, and he stops the timer in 1:51.1.
It was the third win in 8 starts this year for Spitfire Overseas, who is owned by the Stable.ca. It was a long time between wins for Raylan Jennings. After winning in December of 2021, the 6-year-old gelding did not race from January of 2022 through November of 2023. After 5 starts to close out last year, Raylan Jennings started 6 races this year before winning back-to-back races in March at MGM Northfield Park.
They're trying to gang up on Father of the Year, has been the longtime leader. Father of the Year will turn first. Raylan Jennings still has 3/4 of a length to pick up. YSY dives to the passing lane as they straighten for home. New leader, Raylan Jennings. YSY at the inside. Riggins A splitting rivals. It's Raylan Jennings up. Raylan Jennings gets up. Then YSY, current Yankee. Riggins Ace, photo for 5th, 1:57.2.
Renee Loney trains Raylan Jennings. In February, Elise Kilmer picked up her first career training win at MGM Northfield Park. Aaron Merriman drove Kilmer's Gussie's Trump Card to victory.
Less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and Gussie's Trump Card, an ultra-sharp mile tonight. Gussie's Trump Card, Merriman leans back and relaxes on Gussie's Trump Card, winning it by 8 emphatic lengths.
Ohio Harness Hall of Famer Eternal Camnation passed away in March at the age of 27. She was inducted into the Ohio Harness Hall of Fame and the U.S. Harness Racing Hall of Fame in 2011 and the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame in 2013. Owned by the Jeff Miller Stable and Doc and Dorothy Miller, Eternal Camnation was harness racing's richest pacing mare, earning more than $4.1 million and winning 47 of her 101 starts with a mark of 149.2. Among her Grand Circuit Stakes wins were 3 Breeders' Crown and the Jugette. Eternal Camnation was living on Jeff Smith's farm in Haviland, Ohio, since retiring from racing 2 decades ago. Congratulations to Joe Morris, the Senior Vice President for Caesars Entertainment, which oversees Eldorado Scioto Downs. He is the recipient of the USTA President's Award. Joe is honored for his impact upon the industry as an owner, breeder, and executive. At the USTA meeting held in Columbus in March, 16 rule and bylaw changes were approved. One of the changes calls for every extended parimutuel track to be equipped with the 3-light system of green, yellow, and red warning lights and sirens to be used in the event of an accident. When we return, it's our driver spotlight with Jeremy Smith, who is on his way to winning the driving title at Miami Valley.
With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process from start to finish.
Welcome back to Ohio Harness Update. I'm Frank Frost, joined now by Jeremy Smith, one of the hottest drivers around here at Miami Valley, already off to a great start. Jeremy, it's the middle of the month, 105 wins so far. You're off to one of your best starts ever.
Yeah, sure am. And actually, it's been great because the last couple of years I've had a couple injuries that kind of have kept me, like last year I didn't get to race here a lot until the very end of the meet, and it's just been numerous things the last couple years, so it's great. Had a good meet at Dayton and kind of rolled right into Miami Valley so far.
1.4 million in earnings so far, and we're only in the month of March. Your best year was 3 million. You're on pretty good pace for that.
Yeah, and I mean it is. It's been a heck of a ride so far, and a lot of good horses and having some luck and healthy. That's my biggest thing.
Has that been the key to such the hot start? You're being healthy and being able to be out here every day?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. It's been my biggest personal thing. Is like I was saying, the last 3 or 4 years actually. I mean, it all started off with a bad wreck and a neck surgery, and so I'm about the healthiest I've been probably for the last 4 or 5 years for sure.
When you get on a hot streak like you've been, do you get more trainers coming to you wanting you to drive their horses that you haven't had in the past?
Yeah, sure. When you're doing well and winning a lot of races, it just kind of snowball factor. I mean, you'll get on for trainers that you really don't drive for at other times, especially if you're not doing any good.
Do you remember your first win?
Oh, yeah, sure do. Yep, it was for Keith Haynes, actually, and the mare's name was Carrier Rose. I'll never forget it. I don't think anybody here will forget their first one.
Where was it?
Washington Courthouse, actually, at the fair.
What about your first pari-mutuel win? You remember that one?
Yes, I sure do, and it was actually for a local trainer there at Courthouse. His name was Travis Red, and he had a little old free-legged mare, actually, back in the day, and that was my very first one.
Besides those two, do any other wins really stick out, or do they all, after so many, they all start running together?
No, a lot of them stick out, especially, I don't know, with me, it's like the speed miles, like the sub 150 horses, and then a lot of them that got quirks. Them, I don't know about the other guys, but horses that have tendencies to do dumb stuff or whatever, you just don't forget, so...
You've been a fixture on the southern circuit here in Ohio. Were there ever any thoughts of picking up and moving out of Ohio?
Yeah, back in the day, I would have liked to have tried somewhere, but I had my son Parker at a very early age, and I wanted to be a stand-up guy for him, so that kind of altered all that, any hopes of, say, going elsewhere, because, he's in school, and I just didn't want to rip him up and take him away from that.
What does Jeremy Smith do when he's not around the racetrack and the horses?
I love to mess with cars. I like to, I do a lot with them, pretty much about anything you can do to one. I am very fortunate that I can do, but that's what I like to do. Now, a couple days a week, I'll go to the barn with my boy. He trains a few, and mainly just his own. He kind of likes it like that right now, but I'll go out there just to spend time, and mess with him a little bit.
Racing the cars or just fixing them?
Just fixing them. I like them to go fast like the horses. Everything's got to be fast. That's how I've always been, but kind of live on the edge. But, yeah, I like them to go fast. I don't really race them because I'm the guy that's building them, so I try to take care of them. But I will get on them here and there, especially when I drive something that I built, like to the track on a bad night when you're leaving. It's a good exit, to relieve some frustration if you had a horrible night.
What do you prefer, trotters or pacers?
Myself, I prefer pacers. I mean, now granted, I like a very good trotter. I'm sure everybody does, but I like the speed, I like a very fast pacer.
What's been the best horse you've ever sat behind?
Little Rocket Man. And actually, I just got to kind of sit behind him last year several times for Ken Rucker. But I'd say for sure that's the best. You know, he won 47 and change there at Scioto one night last summer. And I think I could have won a little more, but, you know, I didn't really know at that time how much we was going. But I wish I would have, because I think I'd have been close. I know that for sure if I'd have just hammered down.
And finally, what's on the Jeremy Smith Harness Racing bucket list?
Meadowlands. I'd love to go there and win a race. Just one. I just want one win. Growing up, that was always the place, and I'm sure it's a place everybody, even though, their purse structure is a little different anymore nowadays. But yeah, that's for sure. I'd love to win one big one, but I'd love to win one there.
Well, thank you for your time. Stay healthy the rest of the year, because you're on pace for one of your best years, if not your best year ever.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you guys do, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
In other driver news, Chris Lems passed the $25 million mark in career earnings in March. Lems' second-place finish at MGM Northfield Park with pound sign put him over the mark. Lems began driving in 2003. Earlier this year, he hit the 3,000 win plateau. The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association outreach program was busy in March. The OHHA attended the Ohio 4-H Hippology, Judging, and Horse Bowl Clinic on the campus of The Ohio State University. The OHHA's virtual reality bike was on hand, as well as the trivia wheel to quiz participants. The OHHA was also an exhibitor at the Ohio State University ATI Field Day. The OHHA exhibit was organized to promote open jobs through the industry and provide awareness to students, their families, and OSU faculty about the wide range and large number of jobs that the sport of harness racing provides here in Ohio. The OHHA thanks Big D's, Eldorado Scioto Downs, Northfield Park, the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center, and the USTA for partnering with us for this event. This month we honor two sets of grooms. Our February Grooms of the Month are Ashley Brooks and Darren Lowry. Our March Grooms of the Month are Tanda Moore and Donna Williams. And finally, the staff of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association sends its condolences to the family and friends of those who have recently passed away. That will do it for another edition of Ohio Harness Update. If you would like to become a member of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association, visit our website at ohha.com. For Ohio Harness Update, I'm Frank Froz.
This has been Ohio Harness Update. Ohio Harness Update is brought to you by Matt Franklin, Wealth Advisor at Wire to Wire Wealth. This has been a production of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.